Good morning. The August 6, 2025 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. The board continues to meet in a hybrid format. For those here in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. For those attending virtually, if you desire an opportunity to speak, we ask that you please keep yourself on mute until the chair recognizes you. When you are called upon, please announce your name and organization and speak loudly and clearly. I will take a brief moment of personal privilege to apologize to my dear friend Bill Henry for a slip last night where I mischaracterized our relationship, both the mayor and mine with him. Bill Henry taught Mayor Scott and I how to make dad jokes, and has been a tremendous mentor in both of our lives. So to you, I apologize, good sir. Thank you. At this time, I would ask our clerk, Celeste Amato, for any corrections, additions, and noted abstentions for today's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone. We have the following corrections to note this morning. SB 2512237, Bureau of Procurement. This is an award. Select Source On-Call Unarmed Security Abacus Corporation for $1,663,363.78. Under background information, please add the Minority Business Enterprise goal of 17% for AASIM Security Agency Incorporated. SB 2512623, this is a notice of letting for SC 1043 rehabilitation and improvements to sanitary sewers at various locations in Baltimore City. Under background information, we are striking the pre-bid meeting date of July 25th, 2025, and inserting August 15th, 2025. And SB 2512393 for the Department of Human Resources to position creations for law 232426 for $175,252 under the amount of money and source. We are striking $175,252 and inserting $350,504. We have no walk-ons to note this morning. We have two deferrals, SB 2511341 for the Department of Public Works, full release of retainage WC 1258 Monumental Paving and Excavating, Inc. for $85,989.73. This item is deferred until August 20th at the request of the agency. And SB 2512441 for the Department of Public Works unauthorized procurement compost crew for $11,508. This item has been deferred until August 20th at the request of the agency. We have one item being withdrawn this morning, and that item is SB 2512466 for the Health Department. Fiscal Administrator Agreement with the Baltimore Civic Fund for $64,421. This item has been withdrawn at the request of the agency. We have no protests or other statements to note this morning, and the following items will be heard on the non-routine agenda, and they are SB 2512636 for the Law Department Settlement Agreement and Release, Luis Peralta Rodriguez versus Wesley Rosenberg, case number 24C23005-483 for $250,000. SB 2512463 for the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs, memorandum on correct unique entity identifiers for ARPA grants. SB 2512237, Bureau of Procurement and Awards, Select Source On-Call Unarmed Security for Abacus Corporation for $1,663,363.78. Emergency Procurement Amendment to Agreement, Abacus Corporation, Notice of Emergency Procurement Extension and Increase to SCON 004180, Abacus Corporation, $1,663,363.78. And just want to note here, I do not have an SB number for that one, so we'll have to confirm that when the president calls out that item. SB 25-12462 for Department of Public Works Emergency Contract Cole Roofing Company, Inc. for $401,410.00. And SB 25-12498 for the Department of Public Works, an unauthorized procurement with WSP USA for $39,047.66. We have the following abstentions to note this morning. The Honorable Mayor Brandon M. Scott has no abstentions. The Honorable President Zeke Cohen has no abstentions. The Honorable Comptroller Bill Henry is abstaining on all travel requests and travel reimbursements. City Solicitor Ebony Thompson is abstaining on SB 25-12538, Law Department travel request. And Acting Director of Public Works Matthew Garbark is abstaining on SB 25-12493, Department of Public Works employment contract. We have no votes to note on the routine agenda, and that concludes the opening statement this morning, Mr. President. Thank you.
No, thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I ask for a motion to approve and adopt the opening statement as read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The opening statement has been adopted. I will take another brief moment of personal privilege to thank Board Member Garbark as well as Deputy Mayor Khalil Zaid for taking Comptroller Henry and I on a tour yesterday of the Back River facility. It was extremely educational. It was incredibly cool to see the water that comes out cleaner than the Chesapeake Bay after it goes through all that processing. There is still clearly a lot of work to be done on that facility. A lot of work has gone into making it better, both for the many million-plus people that get their water through there, as well as for the employees who we know do an extraordinary job working in that facility. So it was a great tour. I really appreciate the opportunity. To me, doing oversight means showing up and being on site, whether it's with sanitation workers, whether it's at a treatment facility. So again, appreciated Comptroller Henry joining me and appreciated DPW and all the folks taking us. It stank, but that's what it's supposed to do. So with that, I will briefly turn to Mayor Scott.
I guess first, Mr. President and Mr. Mentor, thank you both for going yesterday. A couple things for you. One, the smell leaves after 3 days, so if you're still smelling it, it's not your lip, it's actually the smell. It gets stuck. But more importantly, now that you both have been there, we expect you to join us in the There Is No Such Thing as Flushable Wipes campaign that DPW we want to run.
Mr. Comptroller, I defer to you.
I have no objections to joining the No Flushable Wipes campaign, although on the advice of counsel, I will make absolutely no remarks about the trip because I don't think I'm physically capable of doing so without making bad and possibly unbroadcastable jokes about the experience. But it was an incredible learning experience, and I do appreciate DPW's willingness to take us out there and show us everything.
Thank you, Mr. Comptroller. And now direct the board members' attention to the...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One thing. I was really nervous when you said you expect us to join you in the No Flushable Wipes campaign because the last time you expected us to join you, it was jumping into a pool that had just been opened, and I was really hoping that was not going to be something that gets done at the Back River facility. As clean as the water is when it comes out, I would still prefer one of Recreation and Parks' pools.
Well, you didn't jump in the pool, so maybe that should be.
I will jump in the
sure
pool.
I did.
You did. So.
Thank you. I now direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated August 5th, 2025, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections, additions, abstentions, and no votes that have been noted by the clerk. I will entertain a motion to approve all the items contained on the routine agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of approving the items on the non-routine agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
I need a few more ayes than that. Please say aye.
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 Thank you. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The routine agenda items have been adopted. Seeing no further questions, we will now move to the non-routine agenda. The first item on the non-routine agenda is SB 2512636 from Law for a settlement agreement and release for $250,000. On behalf of Law, we have Deputy Solicitor Stephen Salisbury. Deputy Solicitor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Council President, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Comptroller, members of the board. The Law Department is recommending approval of a settlement agreement in the amount of $250,000. The facts around this incident date back to January 30th, 2021. There was an incident with an armed individual who was actually a security guard who worked at the Compare Foods grocery store in the Alameda. He came to work. There was a dispute between him and some of the coworkers. He presented his gun. The employees at the store called BPD. BPD responded to the scene. 2 officers came in, and one of the officers, when he came in the store, the individual with the suspect immediately started firing at the officer. A shootout ensued where the officer returned fire, and it evolved into basically an active shooter situation. The officer ultimately took cover in an office with 2 other civilians while the suspect was still in the store. At that time, another individual who the officer mistakenly thought was the shooter approached the door, opened the door, and at that moment, the officer fired 2 shots, one of them going through the individual's bicep. It turned out that, of course, was another innocent bystander. It was actually, I think it was the store manager who came in. That was the plaintiff in this case. So that individual, the officer rendered aid to them. The suspect actually had left the store at that point. He was apprehended later and actually died in a shootout with other law enforcement officers. But this case was about the individual, the employee who was shot while coming into the office. That employee filed a lawsuit against the city for negligence in terms of the responding officer's conduct and for his, for his shooting the individual when they were coming to the store despite being an innocent bystander. Ultimately, the Law Department, given the risk around this case, given the facts and circumstances around this, the plaintiff and the risks attendant with litigation, ultimately is recommending a settlement in the amount of $250,000. And I'm happy to answer any question that the board has.
Questions from the board? I see Comptroller Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, standard question. Was there any disciplinary action taken against the officer?
So there was not disciplinary action taken against the officer. The officer is no longer employed by the city, although that was not related to any disciplinary matters. There was an investigation into the conduct that basically found that this was an incredibly difficult situation. This was a lot of stress. This is obviously this all unfolded in a matter of like 1 or 2 minutes from him entering the store to coming in, that the circumstances around the individual approaching the door, he was sort of obscured by a window where the officer could only make out the silhouette of that person.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the office with 2 other. He was sheltering with 2 other individuals. One of them a pregnant female. There was an alarm going off. There were a lot of extenuating circumstances that ultimately just made this an incredibly charged, incredibly challenging situation for the officer. That said, obviously, you have this investigation and you have, how that might play out in front of a jury and the risks associated with that. There were a number of bullets discharged both from the officer even before that incident, before he had shot the individual who became the plaintiff. So again, the risks attendant with that, the law department thought that, felt that it was appropriate. The settlement amount in this case is appropriate.
Just 2 other quick questions. One is, did the investigation determine who shot first?
Yes, the suspect shot first.
The suspect shot first. And did the officer involved have any other use of force issues in their background before this investigation?
Not that I'm aware of, but I can confirm that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Comptroller. Other questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve this item.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving this item say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The item is approved. The next item is SB 2512463 on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. We have Director Kearney. Director Kearney, the floor is yours.
Good morning, I'm Shamaya Kearney. I have the privilege and honor of serving as a Deputy City Administrator for the City of Baltimore, but formerly as the Chief Recovery Officer for the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. The Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs was provided with, or the City of Baltimore was provided with $641,170,126 in American Rescue Plan Act funds through the State and Fiscal Local Recovery Fund. Those funds were administered by the Recovery Office through a number of grants that were administered to city agencies as well as to nonprofit organizations. And for the 2024 single audit, there was a finding related to subrecipient monitoring where the Recovery Office as well as 6 other city agencies had incorrect or missing unique entity identifiers as a part of their grant agreements. The unique entity identifier is the identifier that shows the number for organizations that are doing business with the federal government. That was 46 grant agreements out of 160 that were provided through, again, 6 city agencies as well as the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. And so while this was a clerical error in nature, it did not impact the implementation of those grant agreements at all. That information was accurately reported to the United States Treasury, which is the grantor for these funds, but again, a clerical error in nature. The memo that we provided is simply just for the record to note that those errors occurred in that grant agreement. It will be a part of our record in case of audit, and that we will also provide a copy of that memo to each entity with whom we identified either a missing or incorrect UEI.
Thank you for that. Board members, any questions? Okay. I would then entertain a motion to approve this item.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. This item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is SB 2512237, a request from the Bureau of Procurement for an unarmed security contract with Abacus Corporation. On behalf of procurement, we have Director Adam Manny. Director Manny, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, Mr. Comptroller, honorable board members. Adam Manny, your Chief Procurement Officer. I'm going to give you a little summary of where we are here today, and we're going to tie this to the emergency procurement that the clerk had mentioned earlier. What we have here today is we're asking the board to approve the select source contract to Abacus for 2 months and with a 2-month extension, which would get us to the end of the year. Little history on this is the original contract with Abacus was set to end on June 30th. We had presented an extension to the board to be on July 2nd, retroactive to July 1st, to extend through the end of the year to give both the Bureau of Procurement and the Department of General Services time to prepare a new solicitation. That extension was pushed back a month. At that point in time, in consultation with the Department of General Services, we figured the best way to move forward was to issue the emergency procurement for a 2-month period, that contract, which ends at the end of this month, to ensure that the city buildings had security, the employees were still on board, and that this board would have the opportunity to review everything and discuss it. This is allowing us to now continue with those services as the city issues a new solicitation. We have prepared, because of the truncated time frame, an invitation for bid, which we can get out this week and then make sure it's advertised in the papers. That will be out on the street for approximately 30 days. We will get the responses and then come back to the board asking for approval of whoever wins. I do know that this board has asked in the past to move toward more of a best value instead of lower price, which would be a request for proposal. That is possible, but it's going to take the Bureau of Procurement about 2 weeks to flip the paperwork over because there's additional, instead of low price, we have to come up with qualifications and scoring mechanisms, so that can be done. If the board prefers us to move in that direction, we would definitely need then the second renewal on the one that we're asking you to do now to get us through the end of the year. And with that, I can answer any questions. I do know the Department of General Services prepared a presentation if the board is interested in it, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Questions from the board? I see Comptroller Henry.
Thank you. I'm not sure how much of this is under the purview of procurement, but I wanted to raise the issue that, let's see if I've got the number here right, RFQ 000744, that's the replacement contract for unarmed security. That is currently classified as a living wage contract. So how do we deal with the fact that the current living wage, by the equation that I think is hardwired into the legislation, is actually lower than the increased pay in the proposed selected source?
The delta between what's in the selected source and the living wage, the Department of General Services will have to make that up in their budget for the 2 months or the 4 months of this period of the contract. In the new solicitation, it is the living wage that would be required by any company that's submitting a bid. If the bids come in higher than the living wage, that's the lowest bid, of course, who's the most responsible and responsive bidder would win. But the living wage, if I am correct, comes before this board every December for this board to approve that living wage rate. And this board does have the authority to raise that rate or lower that rate as it goes through. I don't know the legality. I would go to the solicitor if you can just do it whenever you want, but I do know that according to policy, it's every December. And I would not recommend doing it without allowing us to do some research. But the living wage would be part of it through the Wage and Labor Commission.
But if we raise the living wage in December for, I assume, next year, starting next year,
January,
would that be retroactive for contracts approved this year that are where we say you have to pay, quote, the living wage?
No, sir. It wouldn't be. It would take effect as of that period
Yeah.
of time. All of those businesses would then, we would come back to this board. We would request changes to the contract addendums because the wage rate has gone up. They do have the opportunity at that time to say, we don't want to pay that and we want to do something. So it would open up a variety of different things.
Are you, as the head of procurement, empowered to set a higher floor in the RFQ than the living wage?
No.
Okay.
The living wage is law. It's part of there. I can't override the law. It's up to the bidders and the people who are responding. They might say, the living wage is $15.30, and they might already be paying their employees $20 an hour. So they've already met the living wage rate, and that low bid might be $20 an hour. And then as it comes in, the city departments would have to determine if it's within our budget or not to at that rate.
I'm more concerned about people who are not currently paying the, I think we're now, the extension we just did, and or the extension before us and the emergency both pay $18.50.
That is correct,
an hour.
above the living wage.
So what happens when some third party comes in response to the RFQ with a $16 figure, and we're locked into a low bid
That is
response?
correct, sir. We would, the low bid, which is a responsive and responsible bidder, would win at that $16 rate. We do not set that rate. The rate is set by the Wage and Labor Commission and this board at the living wage. What those bids come in at, we do not determine, we do not preset it. If we move to a request for proposal, which I said would take us approximately another 2 weeks to get the documentation, work with DGS to make sure we're capturing everything, that changes it from low bid to best value. And we have to come up with that criteria where we could make price a factor, but not the overall factor. And we would work with DGS to figure out what we wanted. We could put in, for example, customer service, response time, previous history as those factors are. But it's going to take us a little time to determine what those are and then get those documents out on the street.
While I never had the pleasure to actually be a teacher or a professor, an instructor in any class in which the mayor was a student, I have come over the years to recognize the look on his face when he knows the answer. So I would like to pause in my questions and yield to the mayor.
Mr. Mayor?
Not the answer, but Ebony kept nudging me, so I had to say this. I think, without getting any of us in any kind of trouble with Ebony, what I will say, Mr. Mentor Comptroller, is that we work to get even in the interim this 20% increase, and I don't see a world where the administration supports us going back on that. So
Yeah.
I'll just say that to lay the land so that we don't say anything that could get us in any trouble in the future.
Okay, I hope to take comfort from that. There we go. And then the one last question I had, which is, and I think my math is okay on this, we're going to be paying about $130,000 a month for the 2-month version of this contract. So that's about $10 million a year. And my question is, if we have reached a point in our needs where we need year after year $10 million worth of unarmed security, has there been any investigation or numbers run on what would be involved in bringing this in-house?
I don't have that answer, sir. I would have to ask DGS and HR if they had done anything of that sort.
Okay, because DGS and HR would be, I'm sorry, DHR.
DHR, sorry about that.
You guys are a D, I'm sorry, all right. So they would be the ones who would be responsible for determining whether we should be doing it in-house or contracting it out, and procurement just, yeah, that's like, that. This is, I was like, okay. I also recognize the look on the city administrator's face when the answer I'm saying out loud is wrong. Well, you know what? I'm just going to pause there, and we'll do a separate. We'll do a separate question of
sir.
how do we appropriately determine whether we should be doing something in-house rather than contracting out when it's a big thing that we are regularly doing.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me pick up sort of along the thread. I think we have talked for a long time in this town about moving toward best value. We've talked for a long time about, I think there's a shared interest on this board and frankly among many of the folks in this room to pay workers a great wage, to make sure they are safe, healthy, adequately compensated. And I think we've seen with this individual, with the contract, just some of the ambiguities and challenges inherent in our current system. I just want to, for the record, pick up on what Comptroller was asking around just the mechanism by which, if we wanted to either move the living wage or move toward a system of best value, is that Board of Estimates, are those two things Board of Estimates? Is that an ordinance? Mayor's going nuts, so I'm going to turn to him in a minute. But I just want to get clear and on the record what it would look like were we to move in that direction. And I will I will turn to Mayor Scott.
So thank you, Mr. President. And let me just say that it's not if, we are moving towards that direction. Adam and the team have been doing a great job and the Finance Department on the procurement reform, but that is actually going to rely heavily on our partnership with you. We have to change a lot of laws, a lot of regulations, and the charter, most notably, to do this. Unfortunately, this is one of those examples where our forefathers and forefathers didn't do us any justice, because you will not find in many cities where procurement is actually in the charter, and we'll be working with you all on the council to make sure that we actually accomplish this and get it to the voters in time for us to, when we have a next group of folks over the next few years, have best value contracts for the city of Baltimore. But in the meantime, Adam and the team are looking for ways for us to sprinkle that in any way that we can without having Ebony down his throat about not following the rules and the law, as we always are going to operate within the rules and the law of the charter. But it's something that we are moving towards. But you're talking about moving mountains, which is what we're asking Adam to do.
No, I appreciate that, and I will say we definitely should sync up soon. I know the council has been ideating on this as well. I know our labor chair has been doing some work in the charter reform space related to procurement, and it has been, as I said, a conversation I know we've all been having, and so our teams should get together quick on this one. When is the contract going to go out to bid, like the full contract for this?
As I mentioned, we didn't sit, well, the month period between, we weren't just sitting back. We did prepare an invitation for bid in preparation, because at this time is with the 2-month extension, if the board had other questions about extending this select source another 2 months, getting us to December, if you decided that's something you didn't, the invitation for bid is the fastest, most efficient way of us getting a new contract in place. We can turn that from the low price to the best value if this board wants, but it's going to delay the issuance of that solicitation by approximately 2 weeks. More than happy to do it. It's just an additional work on our part. If the board prefers the invitation for bid, we can have it out in a couple of days and have it advertised in the papers. But to change it from that low price to the best value is just going to take us a little time. We have to work with our internal business partner, like I said, for the selection criteria and get that all down. So we should be able to have it out by the end of the month. And then we would keep it out on the street for approximately 30 days. It would come back in at the next board meeting in that period of time in the afternoon. We then have to have the selection committee together. They have to read all the proposals, score all the proposals, come with the scoring, then negotiate if there are negotiations needed with the highest ranked proposer, negotiate the contract, and then come back before the board to award the contract. And that is just a matter of time and herding cats. So that would require us to go through the end of the year, without a doubt. It's just...
Gotcha. I got one more, but I'll go to Mayor Scott, and then I'll come back to mine.
I'll just say do it. Take the 2 weeks.
I appreciate, again, Mr. Manning, your engagement with all of us on this. I also want to appreciate both the workers as well as management who have been in healthy conversation with board members about this. I think that at the end of the day, our commitment is to support the workers. We know that folks do a phenomenal job. They help to keep us safe. They deserve to be treated like every other employee in the city of Baltimore. They deserve good health care, wages, benefits, and I know that's a commitment that everyone here shares. So with that, unless there are any further questions from the board, and I am seeing and hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve this item.
So moved. Oh, good. All right.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of approving this item say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. The item is approved.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next item is SB 2512474, a request from the Department of General Services for an emergency addendum with Abacus Corporation on behalf of DGS. We have Attila Burke. Burke.
Good morning. My name is Berke Attila, Director, Department of General Services. Good morning to you, Council President, Mr. Mayor, Comptroller, and the honorable members of the board. I'm just going to stop not repeating what Adam Manny said. This item is 1-2 punch, and then this is the second one to bridge the gap. One is the emergency extension to have the services still rendered while we're working on the discussed RFP to be put out on the street, and that will bridge the gap for us to get that out, better the best value. We would need additional maybe 2 weeks, but we will have 2 + 2 that will get us to the end of the year, and then this emergency procurement will give us that 1 month between the July 1st and when this is going to be ratified.
Got it. Questions from the board? Nope.
And we're just noting it.
All right. I will note this item.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. All right. Thank you. Moving right along. All right. Next item is SB 2512462, an emergency contract request from the Department of Public Works for an emergency roof replacement at the Montebello filtration plant on behalf of the Department of Public Works. It was supposed to be Mr. Sharkey, but apparently it is not.
Well, we have Mr. Sharkey here, so Mr. Sharkey, would you like to do this?
Alan ranks it.
All right, so good morning, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, honorable board members. My name is Alan Robinson. I am the Deputy Director for the Department of Public Works, and I am here to talk about the Cole roofing contract. I do have Bureau Head Mr. Steve Sharkey with me to help support any questions that you may have regarding this. But essentially, what we were experiencing were a lot of leaks and issues in the roofing at the Montebello treatment plant. This was causing a lot of leakage. We were also having exposure to any of the elements that were coming in, such as birds and other animals that may have been trying to come through. And this posed a serious risk to, one, the huge investment that we made with new instrumentation that we have there, but also in regards to our ability to stay within compliance at the treatment plant. And so because of that, this is why we requested this emergency contract to be able to quickly fix the roofing that was there.
Understood. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Nope, seeing and hearing none. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Is it a no?
I apologize. Good call, Madam Solicitor. This item is noted. The next item is SB 2512498, a request from DPW for professional services in support of the Baltimore Regional Task Force established by the governor through State Bill HB 843 on behalf of the Department of Public Works. Mr. Allen, do it again.
Yes, sir. So again, Alan Robinson, Deputy Director for the DPW. So for this particular unauthorized procurement, this was, as you stated, for the services performed for the Baltimore Regional Task Force. The original scope of the work included facilitating 6 public sessions for task force members to discuss findings and prepare a final report. However, the consultant was subsequently requested to lead an additional internal task force meeting on January 8th and to finalize a report which was due by January the 30th. During that time, they also conducted further analysis in preparation for that meeting. At the time, the financial impact of this expanded scope was unknown, but due to the urgency of the meeting and the reason why they were meeting, the consultant was authorized to proceed. So the final invoice of $39,047.66 was submitted for the completed work.
I know that my two colleagues both have something to say on this. Mayor Scott.
I'll yield to the chair of the task force first.
Yeah, I thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm in the unusual position of saying that even though this is a DPW item, I actually was at least partially responsible for the cost in that the commission decided it needed an extra meeting above and beyond what had been originally scheduled and worked out with the consultants. I have to admit, the commission was not told that the cost of an additional meeting would be $39,000. And that may or may not have been a useful piece of information at the time. The one part I will take issue with is if the consultants added as part of this additional cost, having to put together the final report, then I will admit to some surprise and confusion that was not part of the original scope of work, because that certainly would have been our expectation that if we were hiring them to do all of this background, I would have thought that putting together the final work product would be a reasonable expectation for that. But at this point, it is what it is, and the important thing is that we learn from this because we are going to be heading into another task force looking at the same matter, and I think that the city as a whole and DPW in specific should remember this when trying to determine who should and should not be the consultants working with us on the next round of dealing with this situation.
Duly noted.
All right. I do have Mr. Garbark.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just want to note that the new iteration of the task force, the state has actually appropriated funding. There is a draft MOU with the State Department of the Environment for this funding that should help cover some of these costs so the city doesn't have to bear it alone.
Good. I'm just curious, having had a good conversation yesterday about some of the cost sharing with the city and the state related to wastewater treatment. Maybe Comptroller Henry, in 60 seconds or less, what is the next iteration of the task force? I said 60 seconds or less, and I got the gavel.
Not Bill.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to do that in 60 seconds. I recommend giving it to the mayor.
All right, Mr. Mayor, you got 60.
Yeah, this is a longer conversation. So, and
60
definitely,
seconds, sir.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. This is about the future of what the water system looks like in 60 seconds, and the rest I'll tell you later on today. There you go. How about 30?
All right. Well done. Okay. Any other questions on this one? No. All right. Seeing no further questions, I would entertain a motion to approve this item.
So moved, sir.
Second.
All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The item is approved. That concludes.
Mr. President, if I may, could we, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to defer to city solicitor before adjourning the meeting.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. President. I just wanted to acknowledge very quickly, we have two incoming first Ls that will be starting at the University of Baltimore School of Law shadowing us today. Ms. Bria Goodwin, that is hailing from Bowie State University, and Tyler Dixon, hailing from Morgan State University. And they will be entering UB Law School through the Fannie Angelos program, a groundbreaking program, a collaboration between the School of Law and the Maryland HBCUs are not scared of diversity in this space and are being intentional about it. They will not be paying a dime for tuition at UB. That's my alma mater, so I just wanted to give a good shout out to them and encourage them to be in this space and to look at city government. So thank you for having them.
Very much appreciate that. I do believe the mayor and I are going to jointly wish the comptroller a very, very happy birthday.
Happy 57th birthday, to be exact, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. Comptroller.
We both hope to look that good at 57. So, happy birthday,
Speak for
sir.
yourself. I hope to look better, but that's just me.
That hairstyle with this hair color is going to be impressive.
We shall see. The next regular meeting of the Board of Estimates will occur on Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 at 9 a.m. I thank everyone for participating and tuning in.
TV 25, we're ready to go. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Apologies for our late start today. This is the Board of Estimates bid opening for August 6, 2025. We do have a few addenda to share this afternoon, and those are as follows. Public Works for Contract 995W, Westport Sewage Pumping Station upgrades. This was initially due today, August 6th, but will now be opened on September 3rd, 2025. The second addenda today is also for Public Works 985R. This is for the rehabilitation of the high-level interceptor. It was due today, but will now be opened on October 1st, 2025. Those are my only two addenda today, and up first for the Bureau of Procurement, we have RFQ 657. This is for on-call repairs and improvements at various wastewater treatment plants. Might be a missing word, maybe. We are opening Part A today, and we will be acknowledging receipt of Part B's, if they were in fact received. We will document same, and this does not appear to require security.
Nope.
Casey?
Yeah, so we've received one bid for RFQ 000657. Let me pull this closer. It's from American Contracting and Environmental Services Incorporated.
And
we have, I can see their technical proposal and a duplication of the technical.
okay.
And inside their UPS box, I have the Part B.
Okay.
It's gonna come out today.
Is there a flash drive?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So that bid is from American Contracting and Environmental Services, Inc., and a Part B has been received. Just to repeat, we are only opening Part A today, and this will be sent to the agency for review, and they will tell us when they want us to officially open the Part B in the future. Up next, we have RFQ, also for Bureau of Procurement, RFQ 666. This is for land and mobile radio communications equipment and related services. This is a Part B opening, meaning we opened the technicals in the past, and we are today opening up the pricing for most, but not all, of the originally received bids, and we will note for the viewing audience what we mean by that. So up first.
Up first, we're opening from, sorry.
And I'm assuming there's a total, but you'll probably want to check that page before we figure out if we're reading a total or not.
Okay, up first, I have one from Brown's Enterprise, Inc.
Mm-hmm. And do you see a total or itemized?
Let me just look through this, because
Take your time.
This is itemized.
Okay.
And I see one original and one duplicate.
Okay, we have one original, one duplicate, and an itemized cost, which means we'll be forwarding this to the agency for review.
Yep.
And up next, and that should be the case for all of them then.
Yep. Next up, we have Nanny High Networks, LLC. Sorry if my emphasis is off. I have what looks to be one. Yeah, it looks to be 2 copies of the Part B with 1 flash drive.
They both say duplicates? One isn't marked original? Just clarifying.
They are not clearly marked as original and duplicate.
Okay.
Yep, and I think this one is confirming that this one is also itemized.
Okay.
All right, the last one that we're opening is from Motorola Solutions. Clearly marked original and duplicate. So 1 original, 1 duplicate, 1 flash drive. And this is also itemized.
Okay. And those are the 3 that we are opening, and the other bids received, I'm just going to note for the public. We received a bid from Radio Systems Integrated. This bid was determined by our law department to be non-responsive. So we will not be opening the Part B today. And we also received a bid from Bearcom. This bid was determined by the Procurement Review Committee to not meet the minimum technical score requirements, and therefore that Part B will also not be open. And I'm making those notes on the tab sheet that will also be posted publicly later so that everyone is clear. And I'm also going to read the 3 bidders that we did open since we can't share a total because this is an itemized bid. Those 3 bidders were Browns Enterprises, Inc., Nanahe Networks LLC, sorry Nanahe if I said that wrong, and Motorola Solutions Inc. These were the 3 bidders whose Part Bs have been received and opened and will be sent to the agency for review. And I'm just going to move the non-responsives over. Up next for procurement, we have RFQ 709. This is for mechanical joint ductile iron pipe, Lot A, and Titan joint ductile iron pipe.
Okay, we have 2 bids received.
I'm also not sure if these are totals or itemized, Casey, so I'm just saying that.
Choose your own adventure journey. Let's
It
see
will
what
be
happens.
an adventure.
Okie dokie. The first bid is from Core and Main LP.
LP. Okay.
And okay. All right, and the total price sheet, total sum amount, this is a total, is 293,269 decimal point 50. Wait, I may have to retract that. Give me a minute.
Can you tell me first, is there a flash drive, an original, a duplicate?
There is a 1 thumb drive,
Okay.
1 original, 1 duplicate.
Okay, and then there is a total?
Sorry, 2 duplicates.
Oh,
Sorry.
and there is a total?
There is a total, and please strike the total I read before. I'm gonna,
Okay, because my 6 was sticking again, so I didn't get that anyway.
Let me-
Oh, I don't have a column for two totals. That's going to be a major adjustment. Okay. I think, okay. Okay, I just created a new column. You're going to be upset with what I might have just done to the formatting, but
I feel dispassionate about that. Okay, for Lot A, I'm going to give you a total.
oh, let me label those properly. Okay. So this is Lot A and Lot B. Is that how we're calling these out? Okay. Now they're as they should be. Lot A.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna read you a total. 839, 178.
0.00.
Yes.
Okay. That number was 839, 178.00.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have a total for Lot B?
Lot B is 586, 539.
0.00.
0.00.
Okay, 586, 539.00 for Lot B.
That's correct.
Okay, that was core and main LP. There are two totals for Lot A, $839,178.00. And for Lot B, the bid is $586,539.00. And up next,
Okay, up next, I have 3 documents in front of me. Let me. Okay. They're not clearly marked original and duplicate, but I have 3 copies in front of me and 1 flash drive.
okay,
They're from Basante Industrial USA LLC.
okay. And for Lot A,
Well, the
your glasses is off, that's always
I can give you the totals, but they're different. So before I give you totals that we're summing up the 2 years contract period. But there's also a total on the other side of the page for items 1 through 10, which I'm going to assume is a 1-year contract period. Nothing I say is
But nothing's
binding.
labeled Lot A or B?
It's labeled Lot A and Lot B, but they did not fill out the total initial 2-year contract period.
Let's ask our colleagues in procurement what you would like us to do. Come on up here. That way, so folks, we're often joined by vendors in the audience, but we're also joined by our colleagues in the agencies that do all the work behind these bids. So we're just asking a question about what we should read aloud, or if they would prefer to review this bid.
Yes, so we wanted a total for 1 through 10. That's the total.
You want me, so I should go back and reread the previous one?
Right, and then multiply by 2 will be the total for the 2 years.
Okay, so we
Okay,
don't do
but
math here.
We're not doing math up here. We just need you to tell us exactly what you want the public to judge this off
Okay,
of.
so we wanted a total for the.
So I'll just say that they didn't provide a total.
Yes.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
the other bid did provide a clear,
yes.
okay, so this one isn't as clear.
Yeah.
So we're not going to read the totals for this one.
Correct.
We're going to refer to the agency for review.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So that bidder is Basante Industrial USA LLC. They didn't provide totals in the same way as the other bidders, so we're not going to review those totals. We're going to let, again, the agency review. So that was our final of 2 bidders for procurement RFQ 709, mechanical joint ductile iron pipe, Lot A, and Titan joint ductile iron pipe. And if anyone reviews this online later today when we post, you're going to see notes to help you understand what's happened with the various bids amounts. Okay, up next we have for the Bureau of Procurement RFQ 728. This was for on-call repairs and improvement at various wastewater treatment plants. And I'm looking at my colleagues who are nodding that yes, we have in fact not received any bids for RFQ 728 for our friends in the Bureau of Procurement. Sorry, guys. Up next, also for procurement, we have RFQ 741. This is to provide rental services of various size vehicles.
Okay, our first bid is from All Car Rental and Leasing, DBA Next Car.
Hold on just a sec. Let me complete this name. All Car Rental and Leasing, doing business as Next Car?
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
I
Thank
have
you.
1 original, 1 flash drive, and 2 duplicates,
Okay.
clearly marked.
And do we have a total?
So beautiful. Let's see. I believe this is going to be itemized.
That's what I would be guessing
Yeah, this is
too,
gonna be
based on what
itemized.
it is. Okay, so this is an itemized bid that will be referred to the agency for a more thorough review. And I believe we have a second bidder for
We
this
have
one?
a second bidder from Enterprise Mobility.
Hold on just one
Let me
sec.
read you their full God-given name. Enterprise RAC Company of Baltimore, LLC.
Okay, hang on a sec, let me fix a typo here. Okay,
And we have, let me confirm. We have I think 1 original, 1 flash drive. I just want to see these duplicate. Yeah, 1 original, 1 flash drive, and I think two duplicates.
and this one should also be itemized, of course. Okay, and that was our final of 2?
Correct.
Okay, that was our final of 2 bidders. Those bidders were All Car Rental and Leasing, doing business as Next Car, and Enterprise RAC Company of Baltimore, LLC. And those were both bidders for RFQ 741 to provide rental services of various size vehicles. And up next, for Recreation and Parks, we have RP 24809R. This is for Robert C. Marshall Field renovation, and I am guessing a bond might be involved with this one, Casey?
All right, so the first bid I have is from Allied Contractors Incorporated.
The, this.
We
I'm-
have-
I'm putting the bond in the last column because there isn't one for it, so.
Okay, cool.
Just, I don't know if that's going to mess up formatting, so you guys should check that.
We have 1 original, we have 1 duplicate.
Flash drive?
No flash drives for capital agencies.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Why is this? That's not the total. We can never mark this as a total. I can find it, don't worry. We have 1 bid bond.
Signed? Yes.
Yes, it is signed.
Okay.
Okay, and then the total amount is, sorry, his pen was running out, $4,405,000.0.
$4,405,000. 000.00. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
4,405,000.
Okay, that was Allied Contractors, Inc. May I see a copy?
Yeah.
For 4,405,000 and I can't do that one because of all the zeros. $4,405,000.00. And we're just gonna check ourselves
Yep,
by
I'm gonna give you
reviewing
the
the
page.
copy.
What page was I just reading? What page was I just reading? Oh, they always mark theirs.
Oh, sorry, I thought you moved the sticky.
Okay, I'm looking for 50R. Oh, front page. 50R.
Oh, that's nice. 4,405,000.00. Okay, thank you very much. The currency formatting seems to have dropped off the form.
Okay.
I don't think I did that.
I can read our next one in a minute. Okay, please note for
which one?
For the one from Allied Contractors, I understand that we've only received volume 1 of 2 of their bid.
Okay.
We should refer this to law.
And we've only received what?
Volume 1 of 2.
Only received volume 1 of what we believe should be 2 bid books.
Wait a minute. We only require them to submit volume 1 because volume 2 is the technical spec.
Okay. Our other contractor submitted both volumes.
That was their.
Okay.
Oh. So no. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Never mind. Strike.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Sorry, folks, just to also repeat, so there's no confusion. We can see that one bidder gave us the full volume of specs and the bid book, and only the bid book was required for submission. So we are not going to refer this to law department. We'll refer it to the agency for review. And up next,
we have a bid from P. Flanagan Sons Incorporated. I have an original and I have one duplicate. And the total amount is 4,348,274. Decimal point 00.
okay, can you also tell me if there's a bond?
There's a bond.
Thank you. So that number was 4,348,274.00.
Mm-hmm.
That bidder was P. Flanagan and Sons for $4,348,274.00. Okay. Thank you. And thanks for typing that number, P. Flanagan. Let's see, so that is our final of 2 bidders. So that's our final of 2 bidders for RP 24809R for Recreation and Parks. And this is for the Robert C. Marshall Field renovation. And I believe that's our last opening for today. The results from this opening should be posted to the city website no later than close of business today, if not much sooner. We'll just take some time to make sure all of our formatting looks pretty, and we'll get this posted for folks. And to our colleagues in the studio audience, we're going to try to get these ready for y'all to take with you. And that concludes our bid opening for today. Our next bid opening is on August, sorry, I need help. August 20th, thank you. Our next bid opening is on August 20th, 2025, and we'll see you then. Thank you.